Hello everybody and welcome to a Heroes of the Shire unboxing video. You're with Damien Senior today. I'm the designer and the owner of Senior Games. We publish Heroes of the Shire. So let's jump into what's in this box. We've been waiting about 18 months to see this prototype in physical form, so we're as excited as you guys are. As you can imagine, I've already opened a couple of these boxes, so I won't be as surprised. Let's just pop that lid off to the side. And the first thing we've got here then is we've got some punch boards. So this first punch board has some scenario hexes here. We have some boss tokens and we have some stretch goal mobs. What we decided to do was include quite a lot of our stretch goal stuff in our prototype, obviously just without any artwork. And the reason being is it just helps us understand how to pack the box away. And the earlier we can figure that out, the better, as opposed to having to wait sort of after the campaign for a huge amount of stretch goals to be added in. I'm sure we'll smash through more than we anticipated, and we'll have to do a little bit of recalibration anyway, but at least we've got the ball rolling with that and all that extra space that we'll need in the box. So the second punch board here, we have some shield tokens, we have some leveling up tokens, we've got the bounty token for PvP, and then we have the backpack token for the scenario mode. We also have some clairvoyant tokens there to do with her prediction hero ability, and at the top here we have some buffs. My apologies, these are conditions. Something new in the light and shadow that we've done on the elemental type, we have put another number on the back. So you've got +2 on the back and +1 on the front. So it'll just make your life much easier looking for tokens in the tray. You just look for fire and then they're both on that same board. Next punch board, we've got the buffs over here and more conditions over there. Same up here, I think these are the final few buffs and conditions. And then we have hero ability stuff down here. So we've color coordinated the punch board here. So you'll see in this turquoise dark green color here, those are all to be punched out and put in the envelope for the Raven Goddess, which we'll get onto in a moment. You've got the clairvoyant here. In this color we have all of the Beastmaster stuff. These are all for the light scenario, etc. Then we have some cardboard standees, and these are mostly for the trash mobs. Up here we have combat map tokens. So if you've played Heroes of the Shire before, you'll know that most of our tokens are 16mm, these smaller ones, but then we've created these slightly bigger ones, and that's just to help players differentiate the difference between these are for sort of hero boards and bosses, and these bigger ones are all for the combat maps. Okay, so we've got lanterns, whether the lantern's on or the lantern's off. We've got these sort of wind tokens that will move around the combat maps and hit players, and we've got loot item tokens. We've got some rocks over here, and these are our encounter tokens. Our encounter tokens on the back. There's the Shire Stone, which is effectively a graveyard or a spawn point in case your party dies. Then we've got some scenario hexes. We've got these circles on the back of the hexes, which is where those encounter tokens, these would get placed on top of these. The mini boss starts roaming around and dropping encounter tokens all over the place. We've got some more for the light scenario and the last one for the shadow scenario. So if you're new to the game, these hexes are effectively your world map. So you'll build the world map, and then when any battles happen, we'll zoom into this hex, which is blown up in a ring binder you'll see shortly, and then we'll be moving our standees and placing splash damage all around these maps, which is a new and exciting feature that's exclusive to light and shadow. We didn't do that in Fire and Ice, Earth and Water, our previous games. For those players that do have those games that are listening, we also are offering at the same time as Light and Shadow something called a legacy add-on, and what that legacy add-on does is it will bring all of these new features that you're seeing in this box today that are new to you because they're from Light and Shadow. We're bringing all of those to the Fire and Ice and to the Earth and Water game as well, and that is in what we call the legacy add-on, and that should be nice and clear on our campaign page. Next, we've got a stop readme sheet, of course, in the mass-produced version. When you guys get the game finally, once you've opened your shrink wrap, taken it off, this will be placed on top. At the moment, it's still a work in progress because we don't know exactly where all the tokens are going to go in the token trays just yet, which is what this prototype was for. So we'll amend this sheet and it'll probably be another 2 pages bigger. But what this effectively does is it says, look, there's loads of components in this box. Stop, let us help you sort them all out to ensure that your gameplay runs nice and smooth. So we've got organizing your heroes up here. It tells you where on the punch boards to go and look for these tokens, which envelopes to pop them in, how to do the light and the shadow scenario envelopes, and then how to create these dice bags down here. Okay, then we have some reference sheets. Well, reference sheets, you can see, this just tells you all about the combat steps, the sort of upkeeps and phases. Most of our headings are in orange, and then we have a few ones in yellow. What this is for, we've done the same in the rulebook. Existing customers that know the game, you guys probably won't need to read an awful lot of the rulebook because most of it will be quite familiar to you. So you only need to skim read to the yellow headings, and that's either brand new stuff or a couple of balance changes or updates that we've made. Okay, and then on the back side, we tell you there what all the conditions in the game are for, the status effects. Previously, we had this information on small cards. We've made those cards sort of redundant now. There'll be 6 of these, 1 for each player instead. Then we have a quick start guide, which is your tutorial. This is once players have arranged the box, this will be the first place you'll start. We always recommend that you start with arena mode, which is a PvP battle. Whether you enjoy arena mode, whether you're a campaign or cooperative player only, we still say, look, you've got to learn the arena mode. The reason being is it will just throw you straight into the combat system. And that tutorial takes around 60 minutes. It's a 1 versus 1 battle, but you can have as many spectators as you like. Once you've played sort of 20 minutes of it, you'll understand the combat system anyway. It will just guide you through each player's first 4 turns. Okay, and then the second half of the quick start guide, it will guide you on a solo mode tutorial for scenario mode. So that is a campaign experience. The tutorial, you can see there's about 60 minutes for arena mode and then about 2 hours or 120 minutes for the scenario mode. Okay, as you'd expect in a quick start guide, there's lots of text, there's lots of diagrams showing you everywhere to place all your stuff. Sorry about the reflections, that's my ring light above my camera. And then the scenario mode tutorial starts here, and you can see at the end of the arena mode tutorial there's sort of a summary and everything that you learned in that tutorial, like casting spells, hero upkeeps, etc. And then we dive into moving around, how the mini bosses move, how heroes can use movement cards to move around on a combat map. And then we've got down here, you can see some tokens being placed on the map, sort of splash damage as we call it, or hextivity, and more movement. But you get the idea. This is your tutorial, and this will be your starting point. Then you've got your rulebook. Our light and shadow rulebook is still under construction. So what we've done for content creators, we printed the original rulebook for fire and ice, earth and water, because that still shares about 70% of the game. That extra 30% is all the new stuff that will be coming in light and shadow, and that is of course all in the quick start guide. Next we have 9 envelopes. So we have 7 for our heroes, 1 for each hero, and then the last 2 are for the scenarios. So we've got the light scenario envelope and the shadow scenario, and it tells us what components will go inside these envelopes here. But again, you don't have to worry about that, because the README, the box guide sheet, will tell you all these components to put in anyway. This is just for future gameplay after you've set the box up. And speaking of hero boards, these will be placed inside the envelopes. So we've got all the 7 characters here. So we've got our Shadow Knight, our GameFound exclusive character, the Raven Goddess. We've got our 2 token trays. So this is the buffs and conditions one. So a lot of those small sort of 16mm circle tokens that you saw earlier on the punch boards, they'll be carefully punched and all placed appropriately in here. Again, you just follow the box guide sheet and it'll tell you all the slots to put all the tokens in. But if you're like me, of course, you can pop all the tokens in whatever slots that you like, but that will just be our initial recommendations. And then we have the new scenario mode token tray here, which will house all of the scenario mode appropriate tokens and dice. So you've got the standees over here, then you've got the standee bases to go there, and these are the cardboard ones for the trash mobs, so they're not the acrylic ones, which we'll get to later. They're in the bottom of the box here. Then we've got the, you know, the combat map dice, the HP dice, round tracking dice, and again, to keep everything streamlined, you'll place the turn order tokens for the trash mobs here, the trash mobs there, and so everything for the trash mobs is all close by. In these slots here will be all those bigger tokens, those 22mm ones for the combat maps. Okay, so we won't go on about the token trays, but they really help the game. We now have the wooden dice. Now, these yellow ones will be familiar to players that have already played the game because they're for your spell mastery. We do have some new purple and some blue cubes. I won't spoil what they're for, but some of them are for encounters and some of them are for heroes. We have the health dials or the spin downs. These are not coming in the box initially. These are a stretch goal, but we're fairly confident that the stretch goal will get smashed. Hence why we printed them in our prototype, because we wanted to sort of play and sample them in our prototypes as well. So that's how these will be working. So yeah, these are a really nice community requested feature. I'm a Magic the Gathering player, so I don't use these too much. I prefer the dice. I got lots of fancy dice from D&D as well, but lots of community players said that they've played other games like Gloomhaven and Bard Sung and Elden Ring and Dice Throne, and they all have these. So yeah, we listen to the community, and these are a stretch goal. We hope that you guys join us, and we'll smash through some of these stretch goals. Next, then we have the combat maps. So this is the light binder, just so you can see how thick it is. You can hear how thick this card is, and I say card, it's not paper. Well, of course it's paper, but it's really thick paper. These are our new combat maps, some boss mechanics on how they work on the map, a little bit of sort of flavor text about the map, a key on what some of these icons mean on the map, and then we have some modifiers. If you're using a ranged attack and you're more than 2 hexes away, you can see on this map here, ranged attacks, you'll get -2 damage. Ranged attacks, this is an unusual map where you kind of want to be adjacent to your enemy. And then say melee attacks, you get -3 if you're 3 hexes away. So these are the combat maps. Players will be spawning on these green spots over here, and enemy monsters will be spawning on these white spots over here. This is a boss map, so there's only the one spawn point for the enemy monsters. But you can see here on this map, enemies will be spawning there, and heroes will be spawning here. Okay, we've got a resource timeline up there as well, where combat maps get airdropped some tokens on certain rounds, and they last for a certain amount of durations. So, because these maps will have standees on them and dice on them, what happens if you have a question and you need to have a quick look at the FAQ, which is on the front page? Just as a reminder what the whirlwind tokens do, they'll start moving around. But if you need to check this, you guys, when you're mid-battle, don't want to be moving all your tokens and standees off here. So what we've done is we've placed a little FAQ for the light scenario binder in the back of this one, which is the shadow one, because you're not going to be playing both of these at the same time. If you're in the light scenario, it'll be all the light stuff that you use, and all the shadow stuff will remain in the box. And then of course you can check the back pages here, and if you've got any questions on what that whirlwind token does, they should all be answered here. Okay, so yeah, they're the combat map binders. These are super nice. We've been having a few battles with them, testing out the acrylic standees, and they're just fantastic. And we hope you guys will enjoy some of our playthrough videos that will be showcased over the next month or two from creators and from ourselves. So moving on, then we've got the equipment boards. As you'd expect, these have slots where we'll start placing loot items once we start obtaining them. Next, we have quick references for our bosses and quick reference sheets for our heroes. So it's a little FAQ on how your heroes played. These are not super important. What they're for is because you guys need to remember that as well as being a campaign game, we do have the arena mode, and we love competitive TCGs. So what we've done is we have created a competitive arena mode. And when things get competitive and people are in tournaments and playing for prizes, if you played TCGs before, the exact sequence of plays and things are really important, and interactions. If anyone's played Magic the Gathering before now, like me, I've been playing for 10, 12 years. And when I'm in tournaments, we still have to put our hands up and ask a judge to come to the table to clarify some rules, because there's just so many interactions, and you know, you don't always know all of the rules specifically. For campaign play, that's not even an issue, but in competitive play, that is important. So that's why we created these reference sheets, really. It gives you a little FAQ on some of the interactions that happen between this and this. But yeah, the community did ask for some of these back in 2021 on our Kickstarter page when we did a Kickstarter campaign for Fire and Ice and Earth and Water, and they are really helpful and really nice. So yeah, we've got 9 of those there, 3 for the bosses and 7 for the heroes. So my apologies, I can't add up, can I? That's a total of 10. Next, we have some mini boss boards. It's the Shadow Wraith, we've got a Prison Breaker, and then we also have some pets for our heroes as well. Yes, new pets on mini boss boards. So check out this for a pet. Oh, nice. You won't spoil too much about that. We then got the bosses. So we've got 6 bosses. This is our Ethereal Pegasus. Then we've got the Prison Breaker. And we've got a Soul Collector here. Some of their spells. We've got a turn order board. This is a new and improved turn order board. So what we've now done is we've added the agility stat next to this, and we've done away with those cards. So this turn order board is has replaced those little small cards that we had. And how this is improved is previously, if you were first on the turn order, you might know who's second, but you don't know their agility stat. So if it was a human player, you'd have to ask them. You might say, John, what's your agility? And he shouts over the table, it's 3 agility. And then you can strategically decide what you want to do about your agility, whether you buff it or reduce his, etc. Now you don't need to, because you would see John's turn order token here on a 3 agility. And if you're at 5, you can calculate your strategy. It's just one very small improvement that does make gameplay smoother. We've played with this, and at first we thought there wasn't really a need for it. It doesn't really do much, doesn't really add much to the game. But the more we played with it, we will agree that it is actually a fantastic improvement. We then have the Hero Spell Mastery boards. So this is how a hero customizes their spells and abilities. So we've got 3 paths here, 1 down the middle, 1 on the right, 1 on the left. You can mix and match. You can do, you can unlock 2 spells and abilities here, and then go 3 down there and 2 or 3 down there. For existing players, there's a new level cap of 8. That was always the original level cap anyway, but as a stretch goal, we increased that to 12 back in 2021. That's now been brought back to level 8. So level 8 is the maximum in Light and Shadow. So you'll be able to get 5 there, and then maybe 3 here. So you won't be able to cap out multiple. And there's a reason why we did that. We'll get onto it in a moment when we get to the cards in the bottom here. Okay, we've then got the save game sheet. We have yet to change this. So this is the original one from Fire and Ice and Earth and Water. For Light and Shadow, we haven't added in some of the new features onto the save game sheet yet. So it will, in the end, be an A5 sheet instead of an A6 sheet. And there'll still be about, I think it's 30 or 50 sheets there. And then last but not least, we have do not open. Because this is a prototype, it was just paper banded. But the mass-produced copy will be in PVC, plastic wrap. And it tells you do not open it until your hero is level 4. And effectively what these are, as you can see there's 3 paths to follow for each hero. Well, this gives us a 4th path, and this is a bonus path that's unlocked when you hit level 4 with your hero, which on average will be around about 1 to 2 hours of gameplay. So it gives you something exciting to look forward to after you've defeated a couple of bosses. Then we get into the bottom half of the box, and then what we have down here is we have your cooldown dice. They'll be going in some of these dice bags. So this is how we track the duration of spells. We have a boss dice. This is how we determine the mini boss's movement and if any new status effects are added to boss spells. We have D10 dice here and how we track the HP. But some of these dice will be made redundant if we smash through this stretch goal and unlock these, because if you prefer using those, of course, 2 of these will remain in the box, etc. But you'll still be using quite a few of these because we do have like pets and trash mobs and bosses. So sometimes you might be playing with 5 other players and you might have sort of 6 monsters summoned as well. So we can't give you an infinite amount of spin downs, so we'll only be printing 6 spin downs, and of course dice will be for the rest. The spin downs predominantly we assume are for the heroes, and these will be used for the monsters. But if you're a solo player and you've got 6 of these lying around, you'll possibly use them for the mobs as well, so that's up to you. We then have some combat map dice. So these are much smaller than these cooldown dice, and they're a different color. So these will be placed on the combat map to track the duration of the sort of the splash damage tokens, how long they lie around on the map. Then we have a token tracking dice up here. You can see there's a rotating eye in this dice. It's a really lovely dice. It is a stretch goal, but it's the funding stretch goal. So if the game does not get funded, there will be no game anyway, so this dice won't be in the game. As soon as the game gets funded, this dice will be in it. So it is our first stretch goal, but it's not really a stretch goal, actually. It's a funding goal. Then we have this master ability, and again, it's just like the bonus skill tree that we said earlier. Don't open until you reach level 4. This one is level 6 because it gives a hero a new unique master ability, which these are very strong, and these are why we capped the level at 8, because once you are at level 8 and you have this new ability and your bonus skill tree, your hero is powerful. So it was for balance reasons why we've taken the level from 12 down to 8. We have the AI monster deck dice. We have lots of cards in here for hero abilities. So these are some of the Beastmaster's pets, and then we have the Wandering Merchant. We have the quests and the side quests and some token tracking cards in there. Here is all the shadow scenario cards, all in one wrap. We have the light scenario cards, all in one wrap. So you've got the trash mobs, you've got the story cards, which are a little bit like a build your own adventure book, where if you're playing solo, you've got your description there, you've got your options there, and you pick one, and then you'll reveal the outcome, etc. Over here, we've got the trash mob modifier cards, followed by the 50 card AI deck. So this will control the AI for solo play and cooperative play. Then we have the exploration card deck. This has been changed slightly. So there's 36 cards here. You'll only play with 26, and then the rest of the cards will be shuffled in based on the story mode cards that you pick. We have a bunch of movement cards here. So we've got enemy and hero movement cards. A lot of those will be going into the hero's envelopes because some of them are specific hero movement cards. So let me just open them actually and show you guys. So for example, some of them are for the scenarios, and then we find the hero ones here. The mercenary is a good example, so let me go and find the mercenary. So the each party has 20 generic movement cards, and then each player in their envelope has 5 specific ones. So the mercenary, these would be in his envelope, and when you set up the mercenary, you'd say, oh, what are these cards for? And these cards have the same back as the generic ones over here. Obviously, if I got to the hero deck, not the enemy ones. And these will get shuffled into that deck. And you can see here that the mercenary pull his enemy 2 hexes towards him, pull his enemy 1 hex, pull an enemy 2 hexes. So these are thematic to that character. So instead of being generic movement of, oh, you can move 2 hexes and heal for 2, these are specific to your character. So yeah, that's kind of what they are in a bit of a nutshell. You can see the Beastmaster, Laceration. We got the biggest movement card in the game is on the Light Mage, because she is the fastest character we've ever designed. So one of her cards is this one here, and it is simply move 4 hexes before you cast a spell, which is, you know, that's a good halfway around the combat map. So again, these cards are fun. They're really thematic for the heroes, and they get shuffled into the generic deck. Okay, I know this is not a quick how to play video, but you would draw 3 and you pick 1 and discard the other 2. Okay, so yeah, yeah, that's a little bit on the movement card. And then we've got the, what have we got here? We've got around about 100 loot items. So this contains, I think, around 50 new items that are exclusive to Light and Shadow, and then it has the original loot items from the Fire and Ice and Earth and Water deck. And then there's about 10 quest items, 10 quest rewards. They're all in there. We won't showcase these now because we've posted lots of photos of these already, but these standees, these are the acrylic standees, and they are gorgeous when they're on the combat map. If you're a bit of an acrylic standee novice like me, I actually wasn't aware till I spoke to the manufacturer that these came with a sticker over the front here that needed peeling off. Because I got in touch with the manufacturer and I said, oh, hang on, why is there like lots of scratches on these? Because I hope that doesn't happen to my customers. And they said, oh, that's just the protective tape, Damien. You need to peel that off. And yeah, lo and behold, when you peel these off, they're absolutely stunning. They look, you know, as they're meant to, like sort of glass 3D miniatures. They're absolutely gorgeous. So the bosses are between 5 and 6 mil. 50 to 60 millimeters, 5 to 6 centimeters, and they've got their slightly bigger bases down here. And then we have ever so slightly smaller. We've got the heroes, and they range between 40 to 50 mil. The heroes there as well. Here's our Light Mage hero. I mean, they even look pretty cool, even with the protective film on them. So you can imagine how cool they look with that off. And that's it. We're pretty much done, guys. We've got the plastic bases. They'll go in the token trays. They just pop in. And then we've got the 6 dice bags. So these are pre-made dice bags for each hero. So once you set up your hero, you'll take a dice bag out of the box for each player. And they're all the necessary components that you need. Okay. Thank you very much for tuning in and listening to me waffle on about what's in the box. I hope you guys learned a little bit about, you know, what's in the box. You can sort of see how it was all segmented together. If you already have any of our previous games, the Fire and Ice or the Earth and Water, you'll see that these trays are obviously a big improvement on that. But it's kind of what you'd expect, isn't it? We've come back around now for our next campaign, the Light and Shadow. We've taken a game that was already great, and we've improved it, and this is the new version that we've made. Fantastic. So we look forward to showcasing more about this game with you guys, and lots more videos coming over the next couple of weeks, and we hope many of you will be joining us on this journey and helping this game come to life, because without you, unfortunately, there would be no game, because the manufacturing bills and shipping costs for freight shipping are obviously very expensive. And as you can see, this is quite a big sort of campaign game, so we do really rely on your support. So thank you ever so much for tuning in then, and I hope you have a wonderful day.